Okay, I think the sound's working. That's looking good. It's set okay for SayIntentions as well. Okay, everybody. So we are in Flight Simulator 2024, looking at the baby of the PMDG 737 family. This is the 737-600. We're going to fly it over to Innsbruck, and you can see the weather's pretty atrocious. So we'll see how we get on. It'd be worth having a look actually at the weather. We've got an alternate of going to Munich if we absolutely have to. Variable 3 knots, few clouds, 2,400 feet, broken 3,000 feet. So we should be okay getting into Innsbruck. If we go and have a look at the details about the airport. Elevation's 1,800 feet, so it might be fun. We'll find out. We'll find out along the way. As you can see, the weather at Stansted is absolutely atrocious. So it's been raining all morning in the UK. Actually, where I live, about an hour west of London, it's just stopped raining a little while ago. So it's huge puddles everywhere. Okay, shall we go and jump inside the aeroplane? God, listen to that rain coming down. Sound is awesome, isn't it? So to get the aeroplane up and running, it's worth pointing out I've got SayIntentions running in the background. So if we go and have a look around Stansted, you'll see lots of other operations going along. We'll be having to fit in with them a little bit later on. You can see there's aircraft queuing to take off. We'll be joining that queue, I would imagine. Hopefully they'll all go before we go. If we go and have a look back on the map, there's not many at the moment queuing up to come into Stansted, so hopefully that will remain the case. We can always turn the density of aircraft down in SayIntentions if it does become an issue. Okay, so let's go and work through starting the plane up. So I've put a link in the notes. I follow my own written functional procedures to start the airplanes up. A lot of you know that are regular viewers that I do this. So I will be reading this document, which you can get a copy of. There's a link, as I say, in the notes of the video. It takes you through how to set up custom views if you need them, all the keyboard combinations that you need to control views within the simulator, but then it goes into pre-flight. And it goes through, the shortcut keys to take you to the right place in the cockpit based on the ones that are built into the aeroplane. And then which panels to look at, where they are, what to click, what to turn, what to press, what to configure. And it's also got, the FMC instructions of exactly what to do to navigate around the FMC, what to press, what screens to go to, what to configure, and so forth, so on and so forth. And the guide covers both manual programming of flight plans and using the Simbrief integration, which I'll be doing today. And you can see going through engine start, and setting the pumps up and so on and so forth. So I'll be following that. I've got it on a second screen, so I won't need it here. And here's the Simbrief flight plan we'll be following. I will be using the Simbrief integration, and this is it's quite a long-winded flight plan, so it would take a while to program it in if we did it manually. So we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I'm going to start reading the instructions to myself. So pre-flight, shift and 6 takes us overhead. We go and turn the batteries on and close the lid on the batteries. Then we go shift 3. Now we can do the external power in two places. We can either do it from FS Actions. You can see we've got ground services in here. So the trick is this was developed before the tablet was. So within the aeroplane you can come over to the tablet and switch it on, and you can go into ground operations, and you can do it in here as well. Look, so we've got ground power request and the chocks as well. So I'm going to do it via the FMC, the flight management computer. So request ground power. So if we go look outside, we'll see it's just appeared out of nowhere, and you'll see the umbilical connect. The door's just opened, and there goes the umbilical. So we now have ground power connected. It will change in a moment to say release. There it goes, which means it is connected. So then we can press shift and 6 to go back overhead, and we can flick the ground power switch downwards, which gives us power to the aeroplane. So shift and 7 takes us further overhead. We're going to go and rotate the initial reference system to nav on both sides. The status selector is already on heading status, that's all fine. So back further down, Shift 6, we go and press the emergency lights to armed and close the cover on them. We go and turn on the window heats. Then we have to move the view slightly because the pop-up dialog is in its way. And the probe heats to warm them up. And then we're going to go down to the flight management computer. So Shift and 3 will bring us down. You see it's asking us to enter the IRS position. So that's the reference position for the initial reference system. So if we clear that out and we go in it, as you know, we want to go to the route page, don't we? Interesting, it's stuck on that page. So go to FMC, there we go. Oh, it's saying there's been an error. Oh, I only installed this airplane the other day, so we may have some nav data issues. The reason for this, if we go, unless they've allowed us to do it from the aeroplane, we go to Navigraph Hub, do we have to go and update the aeroplane in here? We won't be able to do it while the aeroplane's running. There it is, look. So I haven't done it. We'll see if we can get away with it. So position initialization. Go next page. Pick up the GPS into the scratch pad. Previous page. Drop it into set IRS. Populate the departure airport EGSS. Then go route. Drop that back into origin. And destination is Lowy, which is the ICAO code for Innsbruck. Flight number is, I'm just going to type in 073. That is alphanumeric, you can put letters in there. We're not going to touch company route, we're going to say we're taking off according to the Simbrief flight plan on runway 22 today. So 22 into the scratch pad, populate the runway, go. So we can do a flight plan request, but in order for that to pick up Simbrief, we need to go over to the tablet first, go to the EFB, and pull the data from Simbrief. So there's our route going over from Stansted, EGSS, to Lowy or Innsbruck. So now we've got that. If we come back over to Shift and 3, we can do flight plan request and it will have this available to us. So we can select Simbrief and we can say set the payload according to the Simbrief flight plan, and then set the fuel according to the Simbrief flight plan, and then select the route. So I'm just going to go and clear out the messages first and then say select route. So it's doing the flight plan request now. So we give it a few seconds. There isn't a lot of feedback on this screen to tell you what it's doing. It will eventually say load at the bottom left when it's ready. There we go. So we say load. So it's loading again, there's no feedback, you just have to wait. This is classic 1980s technology. Okay, so eventually it says activate, so we can clear the message out and we can say activate and execute. So it's now got the flight plan. And we can go and put runway 22 back in there. That's a bit odd that it's not there. Execute. So we can then go into perf init, and then we can start putting in the performance data. Now before we do that, I'm going to go and do the departure and arrival. So it already knows runway 22 actually, so that shouldn't hurt it doing it this way around, but we'll follow our nose, shall we? 390, my word, we're going high. 390 is the flight level. 0 fuel weight, it should calculate itself. Reserve, so we can go look at the PDF, and we've got the alternate 1.3, final reserves 1.9, so 2.4, 2.5-ish. So we'll put 2.5 in reserves. And cost index today is going to be 5. That's the lowest cost index. How are we going to get to flight level 390 on a cost index of 5? N1 limit. Takeoff. Flaps 5. Calculate the centre of gravity, which gives us a trim of 5. Convert the, or transfer the V-speeds over. So we've got rotate 119, minimum climb out 129. Okay, so press shift and space, and we look down at the trim wheel to make sure it's on 5, and it's not. So we're just altering the trim so the aeroplane will be in equilibrium when it gets to the rotation point on the runway. Well, that's the ideal anyway. Okay, so that's all done. We can go and set the departure at arrival. So runway 22 is already set. The thing is, if you don't set that early and you do the performance data first, and then you go and change the runway, it will wipe out your performance data. So that's why I was being so kind of careful about that. So we're taking off on the Detling 2 Romeo standard instrument departure. So if we go next, Detling 2 Romeo, and execute that, and then go back to index and go to arrivals, and we can say how we're getting into Innsbruck. So it's the Made 1 Bravo star and then runway 08. So there's Made 1 Bravo, and our nav, I'm going to go for Zulu 08. I've already had a look on Navigraph. Yeah, it's got the LMEM transition automatically, which is the last waypoint on the route. If I show you that on Navigraph, it'll make a little bit more sense. So there's the Made B or Made Bravo star coming in, and that all it does is takes you to there. Look, LMEM, and then the LMEM transition was the approach to come in here. It's RNAV because it's wiggling through hills. It's not going to be the easiest of approaches, so we'll essentially be manual and referencing the altitudes here to see, where we should be at various points. Hopefully we got some a maximum speed there, look, at 175 knots. Thankfully the 737-600 could come in at about 130, even 120 knots. It's incredibly good. So yeah, something I should point out about the 737-600 from PMDG, it's the best value, highest quality airliner you're going to see in 2024 at the moment. Not only is it cheaper than all of the other high fidelity aeroplanes, if you want to put them that way. I don't like saying study level, but various 73 pilots have said the PMDG 73s are study level. So anyway, it's the best value. If you've already bought a PMDG aeroplane and you go into their store and you log in before you buy it, you may be subject to as much as a 60% discount. So I think I got this for $14 because I already owned it previously. Anyway, which is about £9, £10. Oh, 11, someone's saying, yeah. I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment. Anyway, so we've done the routing. If we go and look in the legs page, we can go and flick through and make sure that the legs all look okay. We've got a discontinuity there between LMEM and WI749, so we'll just close that up. We'll probably get vectors anyway, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so that's all looking fine. We could do a gross flight plan check if you really want to. If you want to see how to do that, you can rotate the map display to plan mode. So if we roll the mouse wheel to rotate that to PLN, then this changes to be relative to the center marker on the legs page. You must be on the legs page to do this. You can increase the range on the navigation display a bit, and then you can notice that while this is in PLN mode, it says step at the bottom right of the legs page. So you can move the center marker with the step button and it moves the map along. So you can do what's called a gross flight plan check of just making sure that your plan looks correct, and then you can see, look, it's coming in towards the runway. Obviously, if you press legs, you'll come to the start of your route, which is Stansted, so we can check the beginning as well. There's Detling and there's Dover, Conan, and then down towards Innsbruck. Okay, so we'll get rid of that view, go and put it back onto map mode, reduce this to 10 miles just for the takeoff so we get a good view of the standard instrument departure. Go and clear the warnings out. So we've done our basic route. I'm just going to go and scroll through my notes. We've done the gross flight plan check. We're going to carry on to the mode control panel. So Shift and 1 will give us kind of a 3/4 view of it, which is really handy. I'm going to go and turn the flight directors on. And not disengage the autopilot. We're going to go and set the heading is already on the correct runway heading. The kind of the textbook way to do this is to set the courses to match the departure runway as well. And during the flight, the crew would be setting these to the direction you're going at the same time. And then obviously when you get near to the destination, you set it to the runway direction for the ILS if you're using it. So then it configures everything nicely. Okay, so we've done that. We're going to go and set our initial climb altitude. We haven't gone for clearance yet, so let's go do that. We're going to go and talk to SayIntentions. So today we are virtual 073. So clearance, we've just gone and pre-tuned by selecting the clearance here. I have set the, let me go and press Shift and Space. Set the radio down here, look. So if I go, sorry, this is the COM radio, 121955. So by clicking on that, it set the radio. I can just prove that to you. If I go to radio check, notice it just changed. It's just a bit of a shorthand to do it. Okay, Stansted clearance, virtual 073, requesting clearance to Innsbruck as filed. Now I should really, in the real world, I would have told them the information I have. And if you turn it up to strict in SayIntentions, it won't let you call for clearance without the information. It will question you about it. But I've got it set as to quite a relaxed kind of beginner mode, so it will let me get away with murder. So we'll get a transcript in the SayIntentions window of what it's saying, which is really handy. It's interesting they're not reading it. So I'll read that back to them. Cleared to Innsbruck via the Detling 2 Romeo departure, departure runway 22, initial climb and maintain 4000, departure 120.625, squawk 4653, which was 073. We should get a read back correct.
Virtual 073, read back correct. Ground will be on 121.73.
Okay, that's all we need to know for the moment. So let's go and set the transponder up with the squawk code 4653. So we go over here, and this is the transponder. If we press Shift and 4, I think it is, yep. We can see this easily. And we want 4653.
Welcome aboard Flight 2023 with Air Europe, heading to Innsbruck. We kindly ask you to take your seats according to your boarding passes and stow your hand.
And then it's on transponder mode already. It's on mode already. That's all good.
Please do not hesitate.
We won't put it onto TA or TARA until we get to the runway.
Thank you for choosing Air Europe, and we hope you have a pleasant flight.
Okay. So we need to go through the rest of the procedure then until we get to the point we need to ask for pushback and engine start from ground. So we can go and put ourselves on radio check just so we don't get too much stuff talking over us. So we're going to go, and we've done all of this. What was our initial climb, by the way? 4,000 feet. That will be because of the standard instrument departure. Now, because we've got all of the route programmed in and we got the flight directors on, we should be able to pre-select the modes for the autopilot. So LNAV, yes, it's lit up. VNAV has lit up. We can also set backup vertical speed, so we can say, so notice VNAV has switched off when we did this, but we can switch it back on again. So say if we said we want to climb out 2,000 feet a minute initially, and say we did heading select as well, notice we can have both, and we can select VNAV and vertical speed. So it will reflect both down here. All it means is it will use those, and then as soon as it's close enough to the track and off the ground, it will switch over. In the real world, you'll find the co-pilot will be flying the plane as you depart, and they'll hand fly it, because that's how they get their experience of flying the aeroplane. So they may not go and switch on the autopilot until they get to quite some altitude, because they're getting their experience. Okay, so we go and set the altimeters. So I just pressed comma to shortcut that, so it's done all of them. Shift and 6 takes us overhead, and we can go and put the seatbelts to auto. We'll go and ring the other chime. This used to be the no smoking signs, but obviously no aeroplanes ever allow it anymore, so it just becomes a chime switch where the pilot or co-pilot can send signals to the cabin crew by hitting the chimes. So it's kind of they might do 2 chimes sometimes. Hang on a second, I just need to step away for a moment. Okay, I'm back. So we need to go and set the cruise altitude, so that was 390. This will configure the environmental control system. Okay, get the APU up and running, so we go and put aft fuel pump number 1 on, and we flick the switch for the APU and hold it down, and you'll see the exhaust gas temperature needle flicker there. So we're now waiting for that to zoom around to 7 and drop to 4, and then we can go and bus transfer over to the APU. Just waiting for that to happen. Shouldn't take too long. So these lights basically indicate that the power is available and you're not using it. Although that's a bit of a misnomer, because if you read what these say, gen off. Anyway, APU gen off bus. So we are now using the APU to generate electricity, so we're no longer using ground power. Okay, so we can go Shift 3, go back down here and press Menu and FS Actions. Go to ground services and release the ground power. Again, you can do that in the tablet, in the ground services section of the tablet as well. So once that is done, you will be able to release the chocks. So basically it's telling the ground crew you can go and pull the chocks out from the wheels now. So that's now done. Okay, so the other thing we would do, which I've just missed, is put the anti-collision lights on as soon as you've got the APU up and running. Fuel pumps. So we're going to go and get the fuel pumps ready to start all the engines. So have we got fuel in the centre tanks? No, we don't. So there's no point putting the fuel pumps on for the centre. I'm going to have to keep one of my earphones off because I keep hearing Alexa tell me that people are going in and out of the front door. Okay, so once we've done that, we go over to the APU bleed and turn it on. And we're going to ask for pushback from ground services. So back over on SayIntentions, we're going to change the frequency to the ground frequency, which I'm just, well, here we go, it's highlighted in red to make it easy for us, 12173. And they obviously told us as well in the transcript. So we'll go talk to them. Stansted ground, virtual 073 requesting pushback and engine start.
Virtual 073, pushback and engine start approved. Face northwest.
Let's go and have a little look at that on the chart. So if we go and pull up the chart of Stansted, we want to be facing basically towards the runway, so tail needs to go to our left. Now I'm going to be using just the stock pushback in the simulator to make that happen, so I need to release the parking brake first. So to release the parking brake in the Boeings, you need to hold the toe brakes on. So I'm going to hold the toe brakes on and it releases on its own. Okay, then press Alt and P and hope for the best. So here comes the tractor. And we're hoping it's going to push our tail this way. Oh my word. Right, I'm going to take executive action with SayIntentions. Traffic injection. And GA, and going to turn everything down. So our pushback's out. Yeah, look, they're clearing out slowly.
Armed doors and cross-check. Welcome aboard flight 2023 to Innsbruck. Our estimated flight
It's removing aeroplanes for us.
Minutes.
Brilliant.
Please pay close attention to the following safety demonstrations.
And it's pushing us the right way.
It contains important information even for frequent flyers. Fasten your seatbelts by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and pull to tighten. The seatbelt must remain fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. Return your seat backs and tray tables to the upright position and open your window blinds for takeoff and landing.
Okay, parking brake back on.
Electronic devices must be set to flight mode, and larger devices.
So to start the engines, we go overhead, we go and put the, we've already got the APU bleed on. So I'm going to do this from this view. We're going to rotate the right engine to GRD. You'll see the N2 number coming up. So that's the axle speed. When it gets to 25, we can advance the fuel control lever, which will inject fuel into the engine while the APU is spinning it with compressed air.
Only after leaving the aircraft. Floor level lighting will guide you to the nearest exit, which may be behind you.
Okay, so if you keep an eye on the fuel flow, there it goes.
Leave all personal belongings
Exhaust gas temperature has gone up, and then the turbofan starts spinning as well.
If any electronic device becomes hot or shows signs of damage, please inform a crew member.
So the switch for the engine start will disable itself automatically. There it goes. Then we can go for engine number 1. N2 is coming up. While we're doing this, we'll go and put the taxi light on. Coming up towards 25%. Bring the fuel in. Fuel flow is happening, exhaust gas temperature is rising, turbofan is speeding up. We're getting there. Okay, then shift and 6 brings us overhead. We don't need the APU bleed anymore. We don't need the APU anymore. But we need to transfer the bus over to the engines first, otherwise everything will die. So bus transfer to the engines, then the APU can come off. The packs can now go on, so that's using the compressed air being generated by the engines to arm the environmental control system. The hydraulic pumps can go on. And down the back of the pedestal, we can go and set this to TA mode now. Oh, sorry, no, transponder. I'm checking it should be on transponder. We don't use TA until we get to the runway. So then, go and set the flaps to 5 degrees. So we should see the flaps start moving over here, and we can come off our parking brake, ease the throttles forwards, I'm going to hold here for a moment because we need to ask for taxi. Let's put the parking brake back on. So we're facing northwest. Stansted ground, virtual 073, requesting taxi to runway 22. So this will be Charlie, Sierra or Romeo, which one do you
Virtual
go with?
073, runway 22 taxi via Charlie West, Charlie Sierra.
Taxi via Charlie West, Charlie Sierra, virtual 073. So we're going Sierra. Okay, release the parking brake again, and off we go. Let's turn my head tracking on.
Ready for push.
Virtual 073, contact tower on 123.805.
Contacting tower 123.805, virtual 073, good day.
Ryanair 905 Papa Zulu, cleared for push.
Stansted tower, virtual 073, holding short runway 22.
Virtual 073, Stansted Tower, runway 22, hold short, you're number 1 behind the 73 max.
Holding short runway 22, virtual 073. Should go and get our landing lights ready, and our strobes. Oops, there we go. And let's get the logo lights on as well. Just see him in the mist disappearing off down there. Hopefully we'll get clearance before too long. Depends if there's anything coming in actually. Should go and have a sneaky look on NavMap. There's nothing coming in, so we may get immediate clearance. Where's that Ryanair gone? There he is. I wonder how quickly they'll give us clearance. I wonder what sort of separation they enforce. I'm not sure. So we'll get onto the runway, get the auto throttle armed, and then we'll start having some fun. So our initial climb is 4,000, remember. We're at 300 feet at the moment.
Virtual 073, runway 22, winds 150 at 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 22, copy the weather, virtual 073.
Virtual 073, London Stansted Airport, information India, 1220 Zulu, arriving and departing runway 22, winds 150 at 9er, visibility 2, solid overcast at 600 feet,
He misunderstood.
temperature 3,
He's giving me a weather
3,
report.
transition level 80.
that transition level's wrong. Oh, sorry, no, that's the transition level. That's the earliest altitude after the transition altitude that you can be instructed to fly at. Anyway, so we need to go and do a few things. So I'll just turn head tracking off for a moment. It's completely left my mind what we were going to go do. The transponder can stay on, not in TA even. Although we can put it, yeah, let's go and put it on TA mode. For takeoff, so we want to rotate this around. We can't see it from here, can we? There we go, TA only. That means our aeroplane, when we do engage autopilot, won't react to anything being within our realm of accidents. That's a terrible way to put it, but yeah, if anything gets too close, we won't react to it. Let's put this on the legs page. I think we're more or less ready to go. I'm just going to go and have a quick check. Oh, auto brakes need to go to rejected takeoff. Excuse me. And we've done TCAS, we've done the flaps, we've done the lights. Yeah, so it's just turning on the auto throttles really. So ready to go. We haven't set this. Quite a crosswind actually. Look at that with it chucking us around. So gear up. Trimming us for the climb at 15 degrees.
Virtual 073, contact departure on 120.62.
Now, seeing as only one in me, I'm going to go and switch that on. And then we can talk to departures. Contact departures 120.625, virtual 073. We want to tell them ideally what departure we're doing, so it's the Detling 2 Romeo. Departures, virtual 073, departing on the Detling 2 Romeo departure, climbing to 4,000 feet.
Virtual 073, Stansted radar identified, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, virtual 073. So they didn't say with the departure, so we need to go just do it. So we go 100. And a level change will take us straight up there. We're also going to go and remove the flaps now we've manoeuvred. So the flaps are removing, you'll see the barber pole will disappear. Flaps are now up. So the gear is now up, so the taxi light goes off and the gear goes to center section. 6,000 feet is the transition altitude, at which point we switch over. You'll see a box appear around here when we go through the transition altitude, around the barometric pressure. So if you watch the pressure, you'll see it happen.
Virtual 073, contact landing control.
Hasn't done this straight away, that's interesting. Contacting London Control 130.925, virtual 073. Good day. London Control, virtual 073 with you on the Detling 2 Romeo departure from Stansted, climbing to flight level 100.
Virtual 073, London Control identified. Good afternoon.
Oh, we can't do VNAV, can we? Because we're doing a climb straight out to 10,000 feet. So as we approach 10,000, either they'll talk to us or we can request higher. So it's gone to altitude hold automatically. London Control, Virtual 073 now at flight level 100, requesting higher.
Say requested altitude.
Requesting climb to cruise 390, Virtual 073.
Virtual 073, climb flight level 390.
Climbing flight level 390, Virtual 073. So let's see how fast this little pocket rocket 737-600 can get up there then. So landing lights go off through 10,000 feet. We're doing level change and it's going upstairs. And we can get, because we're doing a level change, we get to control the speed. So we can go straight for 300, for example. It will dip the nose to do it. So it will favour acceleration. It's only going for 92% though, look. That's interesting.
Thank you for your attention, and we hope you enjoy the flight.
So level change normally will work with N1, which is, you know, remember the performance calcs for the climb performance? Yes, I thought the trans altitude would have been automatic, but maybe I'm getting confused. Did I not do it? But anyway, I'm not going to worry too much at the moment. You still, by setting it in here, all you're going to do is make the box appear. If you're aware of it, it doesn't really matter. So let's increase the range on the navigation display now. Let's go and turn TA-R8 on. Now we're climbing away and out of the way of other aeroplanes. So we'll just be warned if they come within this circle.
What we could do Tomjet 8 Foxtrot Tango descend and maintain flight level
is back in SayIntentions. We could turn this up now.
Descending to flight level 240.
So let's turn it to 10 and turn this to 10 as well. And then quietly behind us we'll see way more traffic appear. It will start spawning in immediately. Look, 700 feet below us, 600, 500. Oh my word! Oh, it's below us now. There it is. That's because I turned everything up.
Vueling 3 Alpha Alpha, flight level 210.
So now we'll hear all that other traffic on the radio.
Vueling 3 Alpha Alpha, radar contact.
Am I using a Tobii Eye Tracker? When I turn it on, yes, but I turn it off when I need to do things accurately and quickly. But I've just turned it on, so obviously, yeah, I can look around. It's quite good, isn't it? Apart from making everybody feel seasick. Okay, so we're on our way to Innsbruck. We're about to turn left, and you can see that on the display. Let's go and increase the nav range again. Going up to 18,000 feet. Excuse me. So I'm going to turn the eye tracking off for a moment, or head tracking. The anti-skid can be switched off. We won't let the passengers get up just yet. Engines are running at 95%. 92% on the gas turbines. It's all looking rather straightforward, isn't it? It's always when things go wrong, isn't it? When things are looking good. You had a decompression and had to... I'm just reading the live stream comments. So Aviation Spotter was doing a flight in the simulator and he had a decompression. Interesting. Did you have failures switched on? Should we put the weather radar on, see if those clouds all come up on it? So we want WXR. And there they are. That's really cool, isn't it? It's really nicely done. So coming up to 23,000 feet. This is projecting top of climb then at KOK. So if we increase the range, where will our top of descent be? Not until we're almost, yeah, about 100 miles out from Innsbruck. Okay, so we've got a bit of a wait now until we get to Innsbruck, so I'm going to hand over radio communications to my co-pilot Amanda. She's patiently waiting over here to take part in the fun and games. If we go and put the EFB screen on, then she gets the map as well, which is quite cool. And then we can zoom in and see ourselves on the map. So let's go and ask her to do that. Hi Amanda, can you take over radio comms for the next few minutes, please?
Control on 134.905.
Sure, I'll handle the comms for the next few minutes.
That lets me go and make a cup of coffee, you see. Because we'll just be following the lateral trek on lateral navigation and going up to cruise. So unless something happens untoward, she should be able to handle that. She won't control the aeroplane, but she'll handle handovers between controllers. So I do actually have, there's a new feature in SayIntentions where we can talk to the passengers, and the rest of the crew will enter their context of what they have heard and what they understand about the flight. So anything I talk to the passengers directly about goes into their heads, if that makes sense. So I can go, for example, and go look at the logs pages, or the legs pages, sorry, and I can see when we're going to get there. So if I go and look here, and we can say
London Control, fueling 82 Juliet Papa, flight level 180.
Juliet Papa, radar contact.
So yeah, about 2:45, about 2:45-ish. So I'm going to go and talk to the passengers on the PA system. So I guess we can just do this following the pattern we typically hear on flights, can't we? Hello and welcome aboard the Virtual Airways flight to Innsbruck this morning. We're just climbing to flight level 390 or 39,000 feet. We're expecting to arrive at Innsbruck at about 2:45. We'll let you know if there's any change to that. The cabin crew can help you with anything you need along the way, so do ask if you need anything, and we'll let you know when we're a bit closer to Innsbruck if we have any further news to impart. See you soon. There we go. So that will have told everybody else. They'll have all of that in their head.
Bravo, descend and maintain flight level 210.
Because we can talk to the cabin crew as well.
Down to flight level.
Hi cabin crew, can we get a cup of coffee in the cockpit please?
London Control, Ryanair 2 Bravo Delta, flight level 220.
When we come around with the snack cart, Captain.
Of course, because we're not a cruise yet, they're not going to do the snacks yet.
London Control, Ryanair 905 Papa Zulu, flight level 200.
Ryanair 905 Papa Zulu, radar contact.
London Control, Sun Express 35 Foxtrot, flight level 310.
London Control, Canuck 7 Mike Romeo, flight level 310.
Radar contact.
Yeah, we could turn the weather radar off. We're above the weather now.
Descend and maintain flight level 210.
Down to flight level 210, Jordanian 111. London Control, Jordanian 111, flight level 310.
So there's an aeroplane just ahead of us that's
London Control, Easy 78 Tango
600 feet above
level
us.
220.
It's going to go to one side of us, I think.
78 Tango Zulu, radar contact.
Just bringing the range down so we can see them pass by. Right, let's straighten the view up. We should see them. Although they're going to be 5 miles away, which is quite some distance. They're at the similar altitude to us though. Exactly the same altitude as us now. So they should be here somewhere. But like I said, yeah, they're 6 miles out, so we may not see them. They're 200 feet below us.
Virtual 073, contact Brussels Control on 125.0.
Contacting Brussels Control on 125.0. Virtual 073.
Too far away to see with the naked eye on here.
Brussels Control, Virtual 073. Good afternoon. Flight level 350 for flight level 390.
It's a shame she doesn't have lip sync when she's talking, isn't it? That would be excellent if it could do that.
Call identified. Good afternoon.
For a bit of fun a while ago, I took a screenshot. I was on a group flight with some friends. I took a screenshot of the co-pilot sitting the other side of the cockpit. I fed it into an AI engine, got it to animate it and talking as if it was talking to the ATC, and then showed them it and saying, look what just happened in the sim. Everybody laughed. So we're being asked in the live stream, is the 600 out now from PMDG? Yes it is, for 2024. This is it. If you go and look outside, the takeaway is it looks like a toy. It's a tiny little thing. Look at the size of the wingspan compared to the length of the body.
Paris Control, Ryanair 68905, flight level 330.
Sorry, 68905, radar contact.
So just a bit of a recommendation to everybody. The way I stay in touch with what's coming out for Flight Simulator, and I've relied on this website for a very long time, MSFS Add-ons is probably the best, in my opinion, of the magazine-style websites that tells you what's happening with Flight Simulator. It's very, very good. Oh, Flight FX have appeared with the H-Jet in 2024. I wonder what I'll be doing later then. But you can see, obviously, they tell you about all of the products that are coming out. It's very, very good. So I almost don't rely on any other websites anymore for news. I just go to MSFS add-ons and go and have a read. Okay, let's go and put this back on the legs page so we get a decent view. We've got a second FMC over here, so we can put that on the progress page. which is quite a nice thing to do. So we go and press progress, and that will give you the slightly different view of the fuel burn down along the way. We can do it here as well, just temporarily. So if we say progress, it's quite nice because it gives you, like I said, the fuel burn down. So we're expecting to have 7 tons of fuel left when we get to Innsbruck, which is lots. More than enough for us to be able to divert if we have to and go to Munich. But I'm not expecting to have to do that. We can usually get the plane down, can't we? Now there's a plane coming in closer, look. It's below us over there somewhere. Not too close though. If we go and have a look on LittleNavMap, we'll see it. It's that one. 35,000 feet. Don't think there's anything else at the moment in front of us that might cross our path.
Dear guests, we're now at cruising altitude, and the cabin crew will begin the snack and beverage service shortly. We have some delightful options for you.
Should we be cheeky and say, can we have our coffee now then?
A selection of tasty snacks. After the service, you'll also have the opportunity to browse selected items from our shop.
Yes, I have got live weather on.
If you need anything in the meantime, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.
Does that mean we can have our coffee now? I've just PA'd the cabin crew.
We can provide coffee when we come around with the snack cart, Captain.
Damn it. Can't we get in front of the queue somehow? Maybe? I didn't actually transmit that to them.
Anatolian for Charlie, Sierra contact Amsterdam radar on 127.78.
Yeah, if you want to see the spectacular view of the weather, I can turn the weather radar on. It's quite a long way below us now though, so it may not light up with much. No, it won't. If we go out to 80 miles, you'll see spits and spots. That's just showing you the top of the clouds, basically. So I'll turn that back down. There's no point. Right, so we're going to be en route for the next few minutes. It's 13:40 in the aeroplane. And we're looking to get to, if we go route data, yeah, this will give us our estimated time at each place. So we said top of descent is going to be after KRH. So 10 past 2, we need to start looking at descending. So we got about half an hour until we descend. So I'm going to nip off and have that cup of coffee. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Paris Control, Oscar Yankee Foxtrot, India, flight level 280.
Oscar Yankee Foxtrot, India, radar contact. Brussels Control, Ryanair 26 Tango Quebec, flight level 200.
Ryanair 26 Tango Quebec, radar contact.
Paris Control, Transavia 60 Victor, flight level 320.
Transavia 60 Victor, radar contact.
Brussels Control, Lufthansa 1 Alpha November, flight level 210.
Lufthansa 1 Alpha November, radar contact. Air France 85, Bravo Papa, direct launch. Cleared for the RNAV runway, 09 left approach. Descend and maintain flight level 150 until established.
Down to 15,000 cleared for the RNAV 09er left approach. Air France 85 Bravo Papa.
Hey, Captain. Would you like anything to drink or a small snack? You know, our catering is so good. Even the coffee beans are on a first-name basis with the pilots.
Brussels Control, Eurowing 611, flight level 340.
Eurowing 611, radar contact.
Brussels Control, Lufthansa 2 Papa Juliet, flight level 230.
Lufthansa 2 Papa Juliet, radar contact.
Back in the cockpit and just checking the volume levels. Yes, so being asked a question in the live stream comments while we're flying. So Paradisky has got a really good tip.
Air France 17 November, Tango, direct launch.
So do you know you can tune this plane to performance package and short field package in the FMC? It gives you even more power and shorter runway takeoff. I'll have to go and have a look at that.
09er left approach, Air France 17 November Tango.
We've also got a comment from PL7028 saying your cockpit camera setup and navigation through the gauges are incredibly smooth and precise. I'd love to have a setup like that. I'm using the built-in views. So if you hold the shift key down on the keyboard and press 1, it shows you the mode control panel. Shift 2 shows you that bizarre view. Shift 3 shows you the FMC. Shift 4 shows you the central pedestal. Shift 5 shows you the quadrant. Shift 6 shows you overhead. Shift 7 shows you further overhead. Shift and 8 shows you your primary flight instruments. And Shift 9 shows you the tablet. And Shift 0 is the wide view of the whole cockpit. Shift space always brings you back to your default view. So that's what I'm using when I'm going through the checklist, and that's why in the document that I wrote, which I think I still have, no, I don't have it open. Let's go to Google Drive, and if I type in 737, so that's why in this document, if we go down a few pages, so that's why it tells you what keys to press. Because otherwise, these directions of where to look for things wouldn't make sense. Anyway, so if you want a copy of that functional procedure to start the aeroplane up, the link is in the notes of the video. So let's go and have a look at this aircraft section then. We're being given the explicit instructions by Paradisky FMC Aircraft Equipment page 13. So we go to the menu page, we go to PMDG Setup, Aircraft, and then Equipment, and then we've got 18 pages. So if we go previous, to go the wrong way around them. Oh look, Performance Improvement Package, look at that, the short field package. So basically the aeroplane can be hot rod tuned up for short fields. Interesting, because something you can do in the Boeings that you can't, or in the older Boeings, that you can't do in the newer ones. If you go and jam the throttles against the stops, you'll go above 100% on the engines. So I imagine that's what it relates to, is they've raised the limits for the short field package. So yeah, being asked, am I using anything other than the keyboard and mouse to control the aeroplane? Yes. I have got, oh, not for the controls, no. I'm doing all of the clicking you're seeing. I deliberately only use the mouse and keyboard so you get to see me do things. I don't use any controls other than that.
Flight level 370.
Saying that, I have got the primary flight controls on my desk. I've got the Thrustmaster Captain's Pack Airbus controls. So I've got a stick and a throttle quadrant. So I'm not going to wiggle the throttles, but obviously I can wiggle the throttles. That being said, the Captain's Pack is for the Airbus. So the switches and buttons make no sense on anything except an Airbus. So on all other aeroplane types, all of those switches and buttons are useless to me. And I don't typically go and, kind of rig them up to work in some fashion. I only use the levers, so the throttle levers on the quadrant, for any other aeroplane type, including the Boeings. And the flaps and spoilers, obviously. So they've got axes on them, on the controller. So my flap lever will work, my spoiler lever will work, and my throttle levers obviously work. And the stick, again, I've got a cancel autopilot button, which will disengage. I'm not going to go press it. The most useful thing I have on my flight stick is the hat. I use the hat to control trim. And that's basically following what the real aeroplanes have. So you'll typically see, actually no, I say that, but on this one, look, you can see a controller here. But if you look at lots of smaller aeroplanes, they will have a trim. Certainly fighter jets do it that way. They will trim the aeroplane with their thumb while they're flying. Obviously GA planes tend to have a big roller underneath the fascia.
Good day.
So on my air brake, what do I use? I don't. It's configured to work the spoilers out of the box. It's one of the axes available to you is the speed brake axes or the spoilers. Same thing. But out of the box, the Airbus stick is pre-configured for it. I have been looking for a while now at buying the Alpha, Bravo and Charlie honeycomb kit. So I would have a yoke, lots of stalks for the throttles and brakes and mixture and propellers and all the rest of it, and a set of pedals, because I've never had pedals. And the main reason for that is when I finish doing a session on YouTube, I unplug everything and put it all away. The room I do the flight simming in is the office I work in. I work from home. So it would all be in the way. So I unplug everything and put it up on the shelf.
Control, Chanex 1432, flight level 390.
But another reason that I don't have much kit in front of me in the room is because I want to show people doing things in the aeroplane typically, and if I'm doing that on my desk, you can't see me doing it. So do I use VATSIM? Very rarely. There's the whole problem with VATSIM around you have to go where the controllers are. Whereas SayIntentions has completely solved that for me. So I can fly wherever I want, when I want, and have full air traffic services coverage throughout the flight, which is absolutely wonderful. So SayIntentions, if you've not seen it, I've got it running in the background. That's what you're hearing over the radio. So it's not only talking to me, it's providing the voices. You can see, look, all of these orange aeroplanes that are being rendered in LittleNavMap, they are being injected into the simulator by SayIntentions. So they are all fictional aircraft. So when we hear people talking on the radio, they are these aeroplanes that are talking to air traffic services. And air traffic services is talking back to them.
148 Mike, flight level 200.
That's him, 148 Mike.
148 Mike, radar contact.
And notice we've got French accents on the air traffic services because we are over the corner of corner of Belgium and Luxembourg. So you're going to get those French accents. It's fantastic how it does that. So we're about to cross over. You'll hear Germany soon, probably. Well, where are the sectors? Are we going to cross over into? Yeah, we're going to go into German airspace. So we'll get a handover. Who are we talking to at the moment? Brussels. So get ready. We'll get a handover in a moment. Because we'll be in German airspace for a little while, flying over the top of Ramstein. Obviously, Amanda will take care. Again, that's another thing SayIntentions can do. My co-pilot has a voice, and I can ask her to do radio comms, and she's going to do it. Do I use the Sim PC for work? No. Never have, never will. I've got a laptop that the company provide that I use, and it's actually on a separate desk adjacent to me in the room. So my work laptop and screen is on one side of the office. My home stuff is on the adjacent side of the office. So on that one I've got a this is going to make everybody laugh. The Windows PC is used purely for flight sim. Next to it is a Mac. So I've got a Mac Mini, and everything I do at home to do with computer stuff apart from the sim happens on a Mac.
Coming up in about 20 minutes.
And that's
Just
purely...
if you'd like to start down earlier.
So that's just ATC talking to us.
Descent in about 20 minutes. Virtual 073.
Let's just double check that arrival. Yeah, it's still the same one, made 1 Bravo. So yeah, everything I do at home happens on the Mac. I've got a MacBook, I've got a Mac Mini, I've got an iPad, I've got an iPhone. And the reason for doing that was purely so I've got different stuff at home than I have at work. I work with Windows all the time and have done for donkey's years. I've got no problem with different operating systems. Because I've got a Raspberry Pi, what's it called, a Pi 500 here, that's got Linux on it, obviously. I've used Linux for years as well, obviously both for work and at home, because most virtual machines at work run Linux.
Brussels control on 128.805.
128.805, the Sun Express 8 X-ray.
What monitor do I have? I don't know, because the Tobii Eye Tracker is over the label for it. I think it's an LG. It's pretty big. It's not enormous, but it's pretty big. I think it's 30... Is it 35 inches, maybe? Or maybe it's 32, I'm not sure. It's the same size as the one I've got on the Mac next to it. So I've got two big screens in front of me.
Langen radar, Lufthansa 31 Juliet, flight level 230.
So I do have a
Lufthansa 31 Juliet, radar contact.
Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Stream Deck. It looks like a keyboard with little TVs for buttons. But I never use it, or I very rarely use it. And part of the reason for that is if I'm doing something on a device on the desk, you can't see me doing it.
Alpha, descend and maintain flight level 150.
Descending to flight level 150, easy 28 Charlie Alpha.
What am I using for ATC? That's SayIntentions. That's doing all of that in the background. So this is SayIntentions. So it is providing the aircraft injection and all of the air traffic services communications between both myself and the other aircraft. It's also providing the voice of the co-pilot in our cockpit. So it uses artificial intelligence, so I can talk to air traffic services about anything, really, or about, to the cabin crew. Like, I'll demonstrate it now. I'll go and ask for that cup of coffee. Can we have that cup of coffee now in the cabin, please?
We can provide coffee when we come around with the snack cart, Captain.
She said that earlier. Or we could ask the co-pilot things. How's the flight going so far, Amanda?
Flight's going smoothly, Jonathan. We're on track for Innsbruck. Let me know if you need anything.
It's good, isn't it? So I'm going to bring the range down on the navigation display because there's a couple of aeroplanes nearby and I want to know where they are. So that one's just passed remarkably close, but he may have been lower than us. This one's lower, look, by 900 feet, 1,000 feet. Look, yeah, so they're descending into somewhere. We can see them on LittleNavMap. We can cheat. So there's one of them, look, 36,000 and descending.
Langen radar on 125.6. Virtual 073.
So we're about to go into German airspace. Listen. Because Langen is Germany. So Amanda will be just changing the radio frequencies.
Langen radar, virtual 073. Good afternoon with you, flight level 390.
Virtual 073, Langen radar identified. Good afternoon.
Isn't that fantastic? So all of the regional accents all over the world.
Hey, Captain. Just checking in. We can bring that coffee around with the snack cart shortly. You know, they say the best part of flying is the in-flight meal options, especially when the coffee is brewed at 30,000 feet.
Looking forward to that coffee. Thank you. So, yeah,
Thank
it's
you, Captain.
if we have a look.
87 Foxtrot, descend and maintain flight level 230.
So, SayIntentions obviously only works on the PC. It doesn't work on Xbox or PlayStation.
87 Foxtrot.
But you just run it alongside the simulator.
Lufthansa 87 Foxtrot, flight level 320.
Right, let's go and have a refresh of the Made Bravo approach. So we're going to go and look on Navigraph. So here it comes, look. So we need to be above 13,000 at Made Bravo. I'm just having a look at the constraints on the way in, and then above 13,000 at Ruttenberg. So, but our route will take us down through the valley, look, as we descend, because there's obviously hills either side. We'll go and turn the terrain radar on. It'll be quite good fun to watch that.
Lufthansa 26 Mike, descend and maintain flight level 250.
So there's another couple of airplanes,
Down
look.
to flight level
One of them
250. Lufthansa 26 Mike.
is coming straight by, he's below us, look, and getting further below us. So he's descending into somewhere. If we go and have a look on the map, obviously you won't see him on Navigraph, but you will see him on here. There he is, look. He's at 35 and descending. And we're still at 39. turn the sectors back off. So he's going to pass along below us. If we go to the outside view, we might see him. Coming in from this side below us. Famous last words that we'll see him. Thinking that though, look, he's still going to be 5 miles out. Over there. Can we see him? No, he's in the clouds somewhere over there. Anyway, another couple coming in. So what app can you use for the Xbox or the PlayStation? I don't think you can. And that's the limitation of the games consoles, because you can't have third-party add-ons to improve the sim that sit outside of it. You're kind of stuck with what you get. So within the sim, you get air traffic services via this interface, which is just you point and click. So you put your route into the world map screen before you start your flight, and then it will preload that interface, the communication interface, and then you can obviously change frequencies up here easily and choose options. Obviously it populates with the correct options for what you're doing. So it's kind of point and click instead of being able to talk to it and listen to it. I think you still hear them, but it won't obviously be as good as SayIntentions.
Langen Radar, Lufthansa 26 Mike, flight level 330.
Lufthansa 26 Mike, radar contact.
So top of descent is coming shortly. So if we do a VNAV descent on the procedure, which they've already told us to expect it should be fairly straightforward. Somebody's just gone whizzing past. There they are.
Flight level 390.
Wisco 5730, radar contact.
Going right past their stream. And there they were. What's the longest airliner flight I've done? Oh, probably from Heathrow to San Francisco International. I've also, years ago, did the route from Vancouver to Hawaii. And I did them in real time. To be honest, you put the aeroplane in cruise and you walk away and get on with the rest of your day. And then you look up your ETA and you come back to the sim an hour before landing.
Flight level 260, Lufthansa 77 X-ray.
So one day I will do a transatlantic flight as a live stream. It'll be very boring though. So about 60 miles from top of descent. It's going to start getting interesting. So when we look at the chart, because we're going to use VNAV, unless they say anything different, we're going to say we want to get to 13,000 feet, don't we? Let's go and look at the approach as well. Yeah, 13,000 at LMEM, and that's when we start maneuvering. So we need to get to LMEM at 13,000 feet. So we're going to set our altitude target to 13,000. We're not going to tell the airplane how to get there yet. And just because I know the way SayIntentions works, we're going to tell Amanda to stop communicating, and we will almost dictate to the controller what we're going to be doing rather than ask. Okay. Hi Amanda, I will take back over radio communications.
All right, Jonathan, you're back on the radios.
So we're now coming up to 40 miles to top of descent. You get this nice view in the 7.3s as well, that in the properly simulated ones as well, where you can see the upcoming track of the navigation route, but you also see the vertical profile.
Transavia 6276, radar contact.
Langen radar, Channix 1434, flight level 390.
Channix 1434, radar contact.
Langen radar, Easy 19er Kilo Hotel, flight level 350.
Easy 19er Kilo Hotel, radar contact.
So should we start descending a little bit early? Because I said we could descend whenever we wanted to, and we need to know the anticipated, made 1 Bravo, which is here, look. That's the made 1 Bravo, is coming in, so above 13,000 until we get to all the way through Rattenberg. Cool. So let's go and let them know we're doing the made 1 Bravo. And we're talking to Langen Radar. Langen Radar, virtual 073, beginning descent on the made 1 Bravo, descent into Innsbruck.
Virtual 073, descend via Madev 1 Bravo to flight level 130 into Innsbruck, QNH 1011.
Descending flight level 130 on the made 1 Bravo into Innsbruck. Copy the QNH, virtual 073. So we can just say VNAV, and the airplane will start descending when it needs to. Or we can go down earlier if we set the descent rate. So VNAV is obviously going to follow the profile. So if we go and look here, it's got the levels it wants to get to the next few waypoints on. If we press legs, it takes us to the top. So Batub, it wants to be there at flight level 298, Ostov 190, Made B above 130, so there's the constraints for you. Turn data on, you'll see the time that we're anticipating to get to each waypoint as well. There is a bit of a tailwind, yes. So that does actually weigh in to the numbers. We may end up using the spoilers on descent, so you will see if we're matching, you'll see the ANP, RNP display come up.
77 X-ray, flight level 310.
And that will indicate if we are above or ahead of or behind the descent schedule. They just talk to us. Descending on the made 1 Bravo into Innsbruck, flight level 130, QNH 1011, virtual 073. So let's see how we get on. I'm just wondering what I've missed. What's the... we need to go and find out the transition altitude in Innsbruck. It'll be up here. So transition altitude by ATC, that's really handy. Is it appear on here. When we get a bit closer, we'll ask Innsbruck approach. If they pass us over to approach. We could ask Langen Radar. Yeah, let's do that. Langen Radar, Virtual 073, can you tell us the transition altitude at Innsbruck today?
Virtual 073, transition altitude at Innsbruck is flight level 120.
Transition altitude 120 Innsbruck, thank you very much. So, 12,000 feet. So we've got another person asking in the live stream, any European route suggestions for the sim tomorrow? Maybe everybody watching on YouTube might like to chip in the comments. Any favourite routes they have in Europe to fly in the simulator. So you'll see we're about to come through top of descent, so the VNAV will kick in, it will start descending any moment.
AirHop 1809er, flight level 190.
There it goes. So it's pulling the engines back, and there goes the descent rate, and there's the RNP, ANP. So that's required an actual. And you can see it shown here as well.
We have begun our approach to Innsbruck. At this time, we kindly ask everyone to return to your seats, stow your tray tables, and fasten your seatbelts. Please note that the use of the lavatories is...
Look at the auto.
Descent and maintain flight level 160.
Auto throttles are kicking in, look.
Descending to flight level 160, Dolomiti 3 Lima Kilo.
So we need to keep, especially with this tailwind, it may not be able to keep on the descent profile. So if we start to get above the arrow, so if the arrow sinks, it means we are behind schedule. At the moment we're slightly ahead of schedule. So the way to get back on schedule is to throw the spoilers out, which lets the aeroplane descend faster.
Dolomiti 3 Lima Kilo radar contact.
So let's put the weather radar on for the moment, then when we get a bit lower we'll turn on the ground radar. We're coming in straight into Innsbruck. We're not going in with the ILS into the far end of the airfield. So if you look, we're going to come in over the hills and drop down over that hill. Now this is slightly wrong. So if we go and show the arrival procedures for Innsbruck, we want to do the RNAV Zulu 08. There we go, look. Insert into the approach. That's the actual route we're doing. So we're going to drop down through these valleys and fly the valley in between the mountains to go for runway 08. We're just here at the moment and we've begun our main descent down to get to Elmem at 13,000. And we are still on profile, so we're fine. Something we could look up in advance is the weather at Innsbruck. So open the airport, go to the weather tab. We're looking for 1011 hectopascals, which we were already told by air traffic services, to be honest. So when we come off of standard barometric pressure at 12,000 feet, we need to tune to 1011. Or 29.85 inches. Seeing as this is a Boeing and it's already on hectopascals, that's interesting. Normally Boeings are on inches because they're from America, but this one's on hectopascals, that's why it's going to be showing 10 something or other.
CityJet 604, radar contact.
So the difference between inches and hectopascals, it's imperial versus metric. Just different scales. Hectopascals are essentially millibars. Okay, so you can see that the data is muddying the view up at the moment. We can turn that off. And you can see the constraints are highlighted. Also, it's worth noting down here, you've got the maximum flap speeds. So flaps 1 at 250 knots, 2 at 250, 5 at 250, 10 at 210 knots. So typically below 10,000 feet you're going to go for 250 knots anyway, because commercial traffic have to stay below at or below 250 knots below 10,000 feet. Also, we'll have the landing lights coming on at 10,000 feet. But the first thing we'll deal with will be the barometric pressure for the altimeters at 12,000 feet. Yep, London to Gibraltar is good. If you want to do the flight into Gibraltar accurately, you need to be aware of airspaces. Spanish airspace is right next to the approach into Gibraltar, and you have not automatically got clearance.
073, contact Munich radar on 133.55.
Sorry, I need to do this. Contacting Munich radar 133.55, virtual 073, good day. Munich radar, virtual 073 with you, descending flight level 130 on the Maid 1 Bravo approach into Innsbruck. Arrival, I should have said. It's a bad habit I've got. Taking a while to come back to us, aren't they? Are they going to?
Virtual 073, Munich radar, identified. Good afternoon.
He sounds very chirpy.
With Malta 9er X-ray, X-ray, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Down to flight level 240, with Malta 9er X-ray, X-ray.
Of course, Innsbruck is in Austria, isn't it? Oh yes, I was just going to, before the radio kicked in there, Gibraltar, if you go and turn the sectors on in LittleNavMap, you will notice, below, outside of that orange line, you need to be careful. So it's worth looking that stuff up, because, flying anywhere, you have to, basically, if you're departing runway 27, for example, you have to do an immediate left turn. And if you're approaching into runway 09, unless you've got clearance into Spanish airspace, you're coming in here and doing a very tight right turn on approach. Normally you'd get clearance through. I'm just warning you about that. Anyway, where were we? So we're on our way down into Innsbruck. If we drop the range a little bit. Why is the weather radar not picking up? Well, I suppose there isn't much cloud around anymore, is there? Certainly nothing that's dense enough for it to show up on the radar. Not like when we were climbing out of Stansted earlier. So here comes the mountains, everybody. If I turn the head tracking on, it'll suddenly look a lot more real. Should bring the range down. Wrong way. So there's Maid Bravo. What's the letter say from... Wrong button. I just pressed slew by accident. Is everything back on okay? So what I meant to do there is go Alt 7 and then use the keyboard to slide myself over. Reference is hereby made to a pervasive and systemic breach of standard operating procedure regarding the authentication protocols for electronic and written correspondence. This is non-standard operational nomenclature, variously referred to as handles or aliases or call signs in official communication channels. It's creating a critical failure in crew resource management. This was brilliant. All pilots are directed to immediately align their identification signature with their authenticated legal designation. Effective airmanship begins with accountability. Very cool. Anyway, I just noticed that letter. I wonder who pinned that up there. So, how are we doing on the profile? We're doing fine. We're coming in down to 20,000 feet. And we can see the mountains now covered in snow. Need to be aware of freezing.
Radar, with Mountain 329er.
So if we get anything show up about ice detection, we'll need to go and let's go and remind ourselves. Anti-ice is up here for the wings and the engines, just in case. The probe heats are on, the window heats are on. You can see the green banana coming in for when it thinks we're going to get to 13,000, which is for LMEM, which is exactly what we want. So we're on track at the moment. Would a Simbrief flight plan take that into account, or would I have to turn it manually? It's not the flight plan, it's the standard, standard terminal arrival route would have the constraints in it. So when you have a star, for example, here, that includes being at this height at a given altitude, or a constraint, so above a certain altitude or below a certain altitude, or both. So it might give you like a corridor to fly through.
073, contact Innsbruck radar on 128.975.
Contacting Innsbruck radar 128.975, virtual 073, good day. Innsbruck radar, virtual 073 with you, descending to flight level 130 on the Maid 1 Bravo approach into Innsbruck. I've said approach instead of arrival again. Oh my word, I need to go and write it out 50 times.
Virtual 073, Innsbruck radar identified. Hello, expect the RNAV Echo runway 26 approach into Innsbruck.
Innsbruck radar, virtual 073. We were originally filed for runway 08.
Virtual 073, runway 26 is the only active runway. Expect RNAV runway 26 approach.
Expecting the RNAV runway 26 approach, virtual 073. We will ask for vectors when we are nearer. So, RNAV 26 now. So we go to departure arrival, we go and reprogram it en route. So we want, so the wind's changed obviously, RNAV Zulu 26, that's going to be longer. And go to route. Let's notice it says modified. So if we go legs, get rid of the discontinuities. Let's go and have a look and see if it still makes some sense. So this is the original route, which is nonsense now. If we go and have a look, we're basically flying over and back round. So what would have been our runway 8 approach is the go around for runway 26, which is the opposite direction, obviously. So let's go change it here as well, just so we can get a visualization of it. Show approach.
Austrian 106.
We want the RNAV Zulu, insert that. So we're now doing that look. Going to be flying straight across to there, coming in. Let's just make sure that agrees with what we've got here. Yep, coming through LMEM, and then going across the top and doing a U-turn.
Austrian 106 descend, flight level 060, QNH 1006.
So we're telling them we're going straight for the RNAV Zulu. Innsbruck radar, virtual 073. We are now proceeding directly for the RNAV Zulu for runway 26.
Virtual 073, descend, flight level 110, turn left, heading 070 vectors for the RNAV runway 26 approach.
There we go, so they're giving us vectors.
Virtual 073, roger. Descend, flight level 110, turn left, heading 055 vectors for the RNAV runway 26 approach.
Descending flight level 110, turning left, heading 055 vectors for the RNAV runway 26 approach, virtual 073. So, descend flight level 110. So we're taking over control of the aeroplane now. So level change, and then we're turning left, heading 55 degrees. So we're going to go and bring the heading all the way around.
086, contact Memmingen Tower on 126.855.
55 degrees.
126.855.
Taking a while to get there. Let's go heading select already, and 55. We can increase the rate of turn if we want. That does have a bearing on the configuration of the aeroplane as well though. So it's best just to leave it in standard configuration. Did they give us... They haven't given us, so I'm going to go and change the barometric pressure over in a moment. We're going to be very close to those mountains flying these vectors. Let's go and put terrain radar on. Surprised this isn't lighting up like a Christmas tree. So the RNAV isn't going to pay. Sorry, RNP isn't going to work at all because we're flying vectors. So we're coming down to 11,000. What are they doing to us? They're going to put us in the hillside.
Marabunina 785, contact Vienna radar on 130.36.
Over to Vienna radar on 130.36, a Marabou 9er 785.
See, as long as we're 1,000 foot clear of the ground, then we're fine, but so we're on. I'm going to reduce our speed slightly, just so we're at maneuvering speed. Is there any? They haven't told us, have they, a speed to be at? I'm going to bring us down to 220.
We're an hour away from the airport. Austrian 106. Buy Sumi vectors an hour away from the airport.
Oh dear.
Austrian 106, understood. Maintain current heading and altitude. Advise if you need assistance.
Here we go, the weather.
Easy 267, direct IAF.
Also, terrain radar's working now.
Cleared for the ILS runway 26 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 4,900 feet until established. Altimeter 1011.
Down to 4907, cleared for the ILS 26 approach, easy 267.
Easy 267, contact Innsbruck Tower on 120.1.
So are they going to give us some more vectors? Come on, where are you sending us? Presumably they're going to bring us round
Ryanair
to here.
93 Tango Uniform, contact Memmingen Tower on 126.855.
Just keeping us away from the bigger hills,
126.855 for Ryanair 93 Tango Uniform.
which are over there in the cloud. It's a bit scary, isn't it?
Skyhops 3619er, direct IAF 10 NME. Cleared for the ILS runway 26 approach. Descend and maintain altitude 4900 feet until established.
This is why this is so good. If we can see the terrain through the cloud. Obviously it goes orange if it's at the same altitude as you.
On 120.1.
Red if it's higher, I think.
120.1, Skyhops 3619er.
This is not ideal. This does mean, though, we've got ILS coming in runway 26. That might be why because the wind was negligible earlier. So we want 111.1 and 254 degrees on the course. So we're getting the ILS ready, basically. .1. So we switch the mode over to ILS 11110 and switch that to active. And same over here. Switch the mode to ILS 11110. Switch that to active. Just double check that. Yep, that's correct. And we'll double check that on Navigraph as well. So if we go back into flights, we're changing this, removing the approach and selecting ILS runway 26. Or, yeah, localizer runway 26. Oh, it's only a localizer, okay. That's fine, okay. So then we can see that on here as well with a proper diagram. So we're making our way around over here, look. And then they're going to turn us back in.
Austrian 7805, direct IAF 10 NME.
So they're keeping us away from the mountains. I imagine they'll cut through here, I would imagine. We'll just follow instructions.
4907, cleared for the ILS 26 approach, Austrian 7805.
Yeah, so there's other aircraft coming in.
7805, contact Innsbruck Tower on 120.1.
120.1 for Austrian 7805, good day.
It's interesting, does the terrain radar only work from 20 miles downwards then? Apparently so. So if we increase the range slightly, you can see there's the interesting. So yeah, there's a hold at RTT, look. That's what we can see there. Another aeroplane's just appeared on the right in front of us, 1,700 feet below us. We'll cross our path. Where are they sending us? Presumably they're going to let us turn 90 degrees in a moment. Or maybe they will bring us into Rattenberg. Is that on our flight plan? Can we go via... I don't want to go and program it in because the aeroplane will go and fly for it. Don't want to do anything unexpected at this point. So this WI002 is out alongside the hill over there. Which is what we've got here. But I'm guessing is they're going to direct us for Rattenberg, aren't they? We'll find out in a moment. RTT is a non-directional beacon. Oh, they've done it already. Turn. I didn't hear them say that. Turn right, heading 100. Virtual 073, turning right, heading 100. Why did they not tell us? So they're bringing us round for Rattenberg. So let's go and program that in so we've got some frame of reference at least. We're still in heading select, but at least we can see the route. And we'll keep an eye on this. For some reason, we didn't hear those instructions. Maybe they're giving us a longer run-in. Because we do still need to descend, remember. If we go and look on the map what they're doing, they're going to bring us over this valley to give us time to descend. Makes sense, doesn't it? So we'll be getting a right turn sometime soon. I'm keeping this in view because we missed obviously those instructions in the middle of lots of other calls. Let's make sure we're still tuned in. I haven't clicked anything by accident. Let's just go and double check and call in with them. Innsbruck radar, virtual 073 at flight level 110 on approach runway 26.
Virtual 073, runway 26 is the only active runway. Expect RNAV runway 26 approach.
Expecting RNAV runway 26 approach, requesting vectors, Virtual 073. Today would be good. Well, if it's just the RNAV approach, we need just to get to the appropriate altitudes. So, Rattenberg, 9,500. We're going to do it ourselves, if they're not going to tell us.
Virtual 073, descend altitude 9,000 feet, turn right heading 215.
Yeah, they're doing it, look. Descend 9,000 feet, turn right, heading 215, Virtual 073. Yeah, so they're taking us to Rattenberg. So what we could do is just go direct Rattenberg from here. And then we can put on, sorry, LNAV, level change. So the airplane's trying to slow itself down as well.
Gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Innsbruck. At this time, we kindly ask you to turn off your electronic devices and stow them until we have arrived at the gate. Please ensure your tray tables are stowed, your seats are in their full upright position, and your seat belts are securely fastened. The weather in Innsbruck is looking quite pleasant, so we hope you enjoy your time there.
It doesn't look
Our
pleasant to me.
assignment is Terminal 1. Thank you for your cooperation as we prepare for landing.
So we are, I guess, we want to go over to 1011 now, don't we? And we're now below 10,000 feet, so the landing lights come on. So they told us to send 9,000, so let's do that.
Virtual 073, proceed direct Whiskey India 612, descend altitude 6300 feet until established, cleared for the RNAV runway 26 approach.
Proceeding direct Whiskey India 612, descending altitude 6,300 feet until established, cleared for RNAV runway 26 approach, Virtual 073. So Whiskey India 612, let's go and put it in. I'm going to clear the other ones out. So it's there. Drag required. And we want to go to, where was the instructions? I've lost the page. 6,300 feet. Okay, I'm going to start looking outside now as well. Yeah, I'm having to play with the spoilers to get us down to 612 appropriately. Scary thing is, look, we're going to start going into the realm of hills around us being a lot higher than us. But in the valley it's clear. Figure that one out. I thought we were going to get zero visibility all the way down, but apparently not. We're going to be very close to this hillside. So, landing lights are on. It's all going to be quite pedestrian there, isn't it? Not quite as exciting as I imagined it might be.
2500.
That's the radio altimeter.
Caution, terrain.
Yep.
Caution, terrain.
Oscar Echo Kilo Hotel Foxtrot, contact Vienna radar on 132.905.
132.905 for Oscar Echo Kilo Hotel Foxtrot. Good day.
It's all pretty down here now, isn't it?
Lufthansa 1761, contact Munich Tower on
Sky's clearing.
118.705. Over to Munich Tower on 118.705, the Lufthansa 1761.
So let's start looking at the... That's interesting. They really have pulled us in early. So normally at Adwig, you'd be at 9,500. We're obviously below that. We're down here already. So we have got the ILS working. I wonder if it can see us yet. It can. There's the glide slope and the localizer. So what we'll do is we'll use the co-pilot for reference of where we are. We'll let the aeroplane follow the LNAV route. And then as soon as this starts to light up, we'll go manual. Head tracker is drifting like nobody's business. So the only problem with head trackers is they drift sometimes. It's done it again, look. If I look straight ahead, it's going up and left all the time. I think it's the direction I'm sat to the screen, to be honest, that's causing it. If I stay straight with the head tracker, it'll be fine. So the aeroplane will turn right on its own in a moment, but we don't necessarily want that, so I'm going to go and turn off.
Virtual 073, contact Innsbruck Tower on 120.1 at Whiskey India 612.
Contacting Innsbruck Tower 120.1 at Whiskey India 612, Virtual 073. So and we are there now. So let's go do that. Innsbruck Tower, Virtual 073 on approach, runway 26.
Virtual 073, service 073, Innsbruck Tower, continue approach runway 26.
Continue approach runway 26, Virtual 073. So there we go, look, we've got the localizer lining up. It's an offset glide slope. Let's get the gear down, we're already at 150 knots. Should we go and have a look outside?
Austrian 5502 holding short of 26, ready to go.
Austrian 5502, winds 060 at 7, runway 26, cleared for takeoff.
So let's turn off the auto throttle as well, stop the alarm for it.
Takeoff, Austrian 5502.
And let's get a bit closer to the glide slope, shall we? Because the controller is expecting us to be on the glide slope, not doing anything else.
Virtual 073, winds 100 at 5, runway 26, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 26, virtual 073. Everything's fine now, isn't it? Just trimming us out a little bit. I'm putting flaps in, so we're starting to trim up. Yeah, look, putting the flaps in has kicked us above the glide slope. Full flaps. Cheating slightly off to the left of the glide slope to make our turn a little bit shallower. Yeah, let's get down lower. Okay, we're on the glide slope. So this airplane does have head-up display, which is all kinds of clever and fancy, but I don't like them. I know that's kind of a bit Luddite of me to say that, but I'd rather just use the standard instruments. So first thing I'm noticing is the glide slope doesn't line up with the pappies, so I'm going to track across and get lined up on the pappies for the approach now. So I've got visuals on the runway anyway.
1,000.
How low is this glide slope over those buildings? So we've got one
Glide
red.
slope. Glide slope.
Yeah, it really doesn't like it, does it?
Glide slope. Glide slope.
There we go, we've got two reds.
Glide
Taxi
slope.
via Alpha Bravo Bravo Bravo.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
Taxi via Alpha Bravo
Glide
Bravo Bravo,
slope.
easy
Glide
956.
slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
They'll shut
Glide
up in a
slope.
moment.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. $100. 50.
Oh, there's a bit of wind shear there all of a
30.
sudden.
20. 10.
And we're down. Go for reverses. Wheel brakes. Everything hanging out.
Virtual 073, welcome to Innsbruck. Taxi to Terminal 12 at your discretion. Stay on this frequency.
Taxi to terminal at our discretion. Stay on this frequency, Virtual 073.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Innsbruck. Did you know that Innsbruck is famous for hosting the Winter Olympics twice? It's a beautiful city surrounded by stunning mountains. We kindly ask you to remain seated with your seat belts fastened until we reach our final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying with Virtual Airways. The local time here is 3:58 p.m. If you have a connecting flight, please listen closely. Flight number VA 123 to Vienna departs at 4:20 p.m. from gate A5. Thank you.
That was all quite straightforward in the end, wasn't it? I thought it might be a lot more exciting than that, given the weather when we were up at 12,000 feet, 13,000 feet.
Oscar Echo Mike Foxtrot Lima holding short 26, ready for departure.
Oscar Echo Mike Foxtrot Lima, wind 060 at 7, runway 26, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff 26, Oscar Echo Mike Foxtrot Lima.
Have a duel with a forklift truck. You're going to lose, mate. So let's go and get an overhead view to see where we can park easily. I think it's anywhere along here, to be honest. So we're going next to this Austrian Boeing. Park brakes on. So let's go and turn the head tracking off. If we go back into the tablet, we can do this way around this time instead of using the FMC. We'll get the chocks put in place and request ground power. So as soon as it's connected to the aeroplane, we can go overhead. Taking the time, aren't they? There we go. Shift 6 takes us overhead. We go and turn the ground power on. So we're no longer using the engines to generate electricity, so we can quite safely go and turn them off.
Short of 26, ready for departure.
Oscar Echo Foxtrot Whiskey Foxtrot, wind 060 at 7, runway 26, cleared for takeoff.
I just taxied in without the taxi lights, by the way. I just realised that. Yaw damper off. Packs off. And yeah, you can go around and do obviously everything. So you can turn off the fuel pumps. Shift 7 takes us further overhead. Go and turn the inertial navigation system off. Go and turn the... if I can get the mouse to go and hover over them. Probe heats and the window heats off. Turn off the electric hydraulic pumps. And we're pretty much there. So the only things we have left to do really, if we go and turn the ground power off, obviously it will disconnect and then we can turn the battery off. I'll leave them on for the moment. So do we get controls here to say what's connected to the airplane? So if we go back to door management, entry 1 left, open. How do we get the stairs to go there then? Stairs 1 left I've asked for, here it comes. So will that door open automatically or do I have to open it? Door management. There we go. Perfectly done. Okay, so we can obviously disembark the passengers. So we could say to the cabin crew, I guess, you can disembark the passengers now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at Innsbruck Airport. We kindly ask you to remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign has been turned off. Thank you for flying with us today. And
so if we go and turn the seatbelts off, and obviously we can go and turn, if we want to go cold and dark, you can. Obviously it's going to mess up the cabin crew. There we go, we're cold and dark. So everybody can go and get off the airplane now. Hope you enjoyed that, everybody that was following along. That was good fun. So that was a 737-600 from AnyBuilds, which is by far the best value high fidelity aircraft in the simulator, bar none. It's really good. This is the stock scenery for Innsbruck, by the way. So Innsbruck is one of the airfields in the sim that has good scenery. If you go to flightsim.2, you can, if I just clear out the view of everything so we can see things, you can see I've got blue dots appearing on airfields. Somebody has very nicely of them, made a CSV file that you can download from flightsim.2 with the good airports that have been handcrafted. So you import it into LittleNavMap as a user point file, and then you can see all of the places that have got really good airports that are, beyond the AI airports. So there's obviously quite a lot of them dotted around Switzerland and Austria, and it's very, very cool. Anyway, and Innsbruck is one of them. So obviously it looks like this instead of just a load of AI buildings. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that. As I said earlier on, the functional procedure I used to start the airplane up is available as a link in the comments. You get it as a PDF, and it takes you through everything you need to do to start the airplane up for a general flight. Okay, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. See you again soon. Thanks ever so much if you've been following along. Take care.